Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you are fine. Today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, that is transitive and intransitive verbs. First of all, we'll see what are transitive verbs. A transitive verb has a direct object. For example, here we have the basic structure of the sentence: subject, verb, and the direct object. For example, she baked a cake. So baked is the verb. After that, there is a direct object, that is a cake. There is another example. They called us. So called is verb and us is the direct object. So let's see how you are going to identify direct object. Direct object gives the answer of what or whom. So in the first example, she baked what? She baked a cake. In the second example, they called whom? They called us. So here, a cake and in the second example, us, both are direct objects. Now we'll discuss ditransitive verbs. When a transitive verb takes two objects, that is called a ditransitive verb. And those two objects are, number one is a direct object and number two, we'll use indirect object. For example, subject, verb, indirect object and direct object. She baked me a cake. So here, me is indirect object. Let's see how we can identify indirect object. Indirect object gives the answer of for whom or to whom. So here in this sentence, she baked a cake for whom? For me. So me is indirect object, which is giving the answer of for whom. Indirect object is placed right after the ditransitive verb. As in this example, me is placed right after the verb baked. It can also come after the prepositions to or for and can be placed after direct object. For example, here we can see two more examples. She baked a cake for me. Now, indirect object is coming after the direct object and there is preposition for. He sent an email to us. Again, to us. After to, there is us, that is indirect object. It is coming after the direct object. Now we'll discuss what is intransitive verb. So let's see. An intransitive verb does not have an object. First example is, they shouted. So this is a very simple sentence. This is conveying a complete sense without any sort of object. So this is intransitive verb. Here is another example. The birds fly in the sky. So here the verb is fly. After that there is a phrase. But that phrase is not giving the answer of what, whom, for whom, or to whom. Rather, it is giving the answer of the question where. So it is an adverbial phrase. It's not any sort of object. So fly is here in this sentence. It is intransitive verb. Let's do an activity. Encircle the direct object and underline the indirect object in the following sentences. So before doing that, let's see what is direct object. Let's have a recap of this. Direct object gives the answer of what or whom. And indirect object gives the answer of to whom or for whom. Let's do sentence number 1. She sent her friend an email. So here, sent is the verb and her friend an email. There are two phrases. One of this is a direct object, the other is indirect object. She sent what? She sent an email. An email is the direct object and her friend to whom? To her friend. So this is an indirect object. Sentence 2. Sally will help you with your housework. So help here is verb and there is you after that. So what is you? Sally help whom? Sally help you. So you is a direct object. Sentence 3. How did she wish Eid to her? So in this sentence, wish is the verb. So she wished what? She wished Eid. To whom? To her. So here Eid is the direct object and her is indirect object. Good job. Okay. Now let's do activity number 2. State whether the verbs in the following sentences are transitive, intransitive or ditransitive. So before we just do that, let's see what is transitive verb. Let's have a recap. Verb which takes one object. Intransitive verb does not take any object. Rather, ditransitive verb take two objects. So let's see sentence number 1. She presented me a precious gift. So here the verb is presented and after that there is me a precious gift. So there are two objects. This is ditransitive. Sentence number 2. I waited for an hour. Waited is the verb in this sentence and for an hour it's not any sort of object because it is not giving the answer of those questions which are required for any sort of object. So for an hour is giving the answer of how long. So it is not any sort of object. So it is intransitive. Sentence 3. I received your letter in the morning. So received is the verb your letter. I received what? Your letter. So your letter is an object and in the morning it's the giving answer of when. So it's not any sort of object, rather this is an adverb. So there is only one object. So in this sentence the verb is transitive verb. Let's do activity number 3 and this is the last activity and the question is put the words in the correct order to make sentences. The first is to sell his old car, me, my brother, wants to. So, can you arrange it? Yes, my brother wants to sell me his old car. Number 2, some tickets, us, shall, I, for, book. And there is a question mark at the end. It means that you have to make a question. So, it's shall I book some tickets for us? So this is how you have to do the activities. You'll be sent a worksheet along with this video. First you have to watch this video and solve these activities and then you have to solve the worksheet on your practice notebooks. So hope you can do it in a very good way. Best of luck. Allah Hafiz.